What's up, guys? Welcome to Whiskey. I'm Jeff. Today we are going to do a blind challenge. I'm going to be doing a rundown of Glenmorangie's core range with a blindfold on, so it should be interesting. Stick around. So something different today. We're doing a rundown. We're doing a tasting with a bunch of different whiskeys. You may have noticed all my fancy glasses here. These are so I don't see the color of the whiskey. Now, most of the YouTubers that you see that do blind tastings are going to use the black Glencairns. They also have green ones, they have red ones, but those are all for poor people. Let's face it, those colors are boring. They have no sparkle, they have no shine, they have no luster. That's why I had these 24 karat gold Glencairns made, for you guys to bask in the radiance of my success. And it's only through my many accomplishments that I can afford these things, which is why I have this enviable lifestyle as a multimillionaire social media influencer. Anyway, that was dumb. Glenmorangie today. I've got 5 with me. I have the 10-year-old, the original. I have the 12-year-old Lasanta, the 14-year-old Quinta Ruban, the 16-year-old, the Nectar, and the 18-year-old, the Infinita. For those of you that don't know, Glenmorangie is in the process of updating their range. So the 10-year-old has been switched over to a 12-year-old. I haven't bought the 12-year-old yet, but I'm sure to. The 12-year-old Lasanta has stayed the same. The 14-year-old Quinta Ruban has stayed the same. The Nectar has been switched over to a 16-year-old, and the 18 also the same. And even for the ones that stayed the same, they might not have stayed completely the same. Maybe there was like a tweak in the formula or something, but the age statement, the ABV, those all remain. Now, I do have most, but I don't have all of the core range. I am missing, as I said, the 12-year-old original. There's also a 12-year-old Calvados I don't have. There's a no age stated release I don't have. And there's a 19-year-old travel retail, which, you know, may or may not be core range. Don't have that one either. Anyway, the way today's blind tasting is going to work is that I'm going to be blindfolded so that I don't see what's happening. My girlfriend is going to come in and she's going to pour each of these whiskeys into each of these glasses. Now, girlfriend will actually be on camera, but you're not going to see her face. And that's because she's hideous. I'm kidding, that was a joke for the record. She's beautiful, but she is shy. Now, once everything is poured into these glasses, what I'll do is I'll go through each of them, give you some basic tasting notes, and then later I'll try and tell you which one I think is which, and I'll give you a ranking. Anyway, before we jump in, I will give you my prediction on how I think this is going to play out. I have reviewed most of these recently, and these were the scores that I gave them. I didn't review the 10-year-old yet, but regardless, it should look something like that, although you never know. We might get some twists and turns. For the sake of transparency, I'm going to make this one continuous take, but I am going to speed up the slower parts just to be more concise. Okay, so we just moved everything around to get everything set up. Looks like we're ready to go. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'll be greatly appreciated. Okay, so everything's poured. Let's jump into it. We'll start with number 5. Okay. So for this one, I'm not getting too heavy of a cask influence. There's definitely some cask here, but okay. We do get the Glenmorangie sort of like oranges and spices. Very nice balance. Some oaky influences in here. Let's try it. Okay. Richer and darker than the nose suggested. Definitely plenty of spices. Some nice earthy elements in here. That's very nice. All right, let's move on to number 4. All right, on the nose, number 4. Ooh, very bright. This is a little bit cleaner, not quite as cask driven. Of course, orange, cinnamon, some orchard fruits, spicy, a little bit creamy. Let's try the palate. Okay, that one, some sweetness, a little bit of getting some wininess, but nothing too dark. Nice full flavor, quite rich, quite heavy. Okay. Ideas are forming. Number 3. Okay, this one I am getting some sherry. I'm getting some cream. Yeah, classic sherry cask flavors here. Peaches even. Let's try the palate. Okay. Good amount of spice, good amount of oak in this. Classic Glenmorangie flavors. Lots of oranges. This one's particularly orangey, like orange zest or something. Let's try number 2. On the nose. Okay, once again, this one does suggest some cask influence. A little bit earthy. This one's quite sweet and creamy. Vanilla ice cream. Very bright. Okay, this one's very nice. Number 1. I'm not detecting, out the gate, I'm not detecting a heavy cask influence here. Okay. Some decent complexity here. Some nice oak influence. Peaches, apricots. Very nice. All right, so I've got my first impressions down. I have some basic ideas. This is where we kind of speed up the video. I'll go through them and I'll try and sort out my thoughts and figure out which is which. Okay, I've gone through each of them, and this is my ranking currently with regards to my preference. So just what I like the most to least. And with that said, let's just jump right into what I theorize each one of these is. I suspect this one here, the number 1, I think that's the 18. This one, number 2. Maybe number 2 is the 16, but I'm not sure which one is the 16 and which one is the 18. All right, I don't know. These lineups all kind of bleed together. So what do we have here? We have the number 2. I think maybe the number 2 is the 18. The number 1 is the 16. I think number 5 is the Lasanta. I think number 3 is the Quinta Ruban. And I think number 4 is the 10-year-old. So I'm going to play back the video and we'll see how right I am. I am not sure about this. Okay, so things worked out very interestingly here. My favorite did end up being the one that I thought would be my favorite, which is the 18-year-old. My least favorite was what I expected to be my least favorite, which was the 10-year-old. Things got a little bit messy in the middle though. And what's interesting is towards the end, I was really not sure which one was the 18. I thought initially that I was trying to choose between the 16 and the 18 for these two spots here. As it turns out, I was choosing between the 18 and the Lasanta. And that's saying something about the Lasanta. The Lasanta did pretty good today. In my defense, these are both sherried, they are both 43% whiskeys, and they are both a little bit more on the lighter and delicate side of Glenmorangie. But yeah, for me to mistake in a side-by-side, for me to mistake the 12-year-old and the 18, wow. But ultimately, the way it worked out is, number one, my favorite was the 18-year-old, number two, the 12-year-old, number three, the 16-year-old, and number four, the 14-year-old, and of course, last, the 10-year-old. The big twist in there is the 16-year-old and the 12-year-old. I expected 18 to be first, of course, but second and third I felt would go to 16, and then third place, I wasn't sure if it would be the Lasanta or the Quinta Ruban. As it turns out, Lasanta number 2, 16 number 3, Quinta Ruban 4. Did not see that coming. So we did have some interesting twists and turns today. Just for fun, let's put everything up on the screen. So what you see in red were my predictions, and what you see in black is the way things actually played out. And I guess with all of that done, with our blind tasting out of the way, this is where I ask what you guys think of Glenmorangie. So if you guys had to rank the range, I don't expect you all to do a side-by-side, but just off the top of your head, if you had to rank these 5 whiskeys, what would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? How would you put them? How would you score them? And of course, that doesn't just need to apply to the new range. It is important to keep in mind, though, that the new range is substantially different from the old range pre-rebranding. So I think they only rebranded last year. Anything prior to that, we can assume is going to be different from what you're getting here. Now we can assume. I can tell you, it's different. Anyway, looking forward to seeing what you guys put down below in the comments. And I suppose that is today's video done. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to help out with the channel, I do have both Patreon and PayPal linked down below. And I guess we'll catch you with the next video. Bye, guys.